Hi everyone, welcome back to Troy's Tabletop. I'm Troy.
I'm James.
So today, as you can see, we have a lovely tier list here for you guys. So we're gonna fuck all of these into a tier list and argue about them for like half an hour, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So, obviously starting with the first one, Barbarian. Thoughts?
It's pretty good. I like Barbarian.
It's the best way to play Unga Bunga, man.
It always seems to be people's like multi-class option. People like Rage a lot.
I mean, to be honest, like my first multi-class was an Artificer Barbarian. You'd think it doesn't work, but it fucking did. It was sick.
I like Druid Barbarian's the most common one that I see.
That makes sense.
Because it's just like wild shape. Also, I'm annoyed. Now I'm just a grizzly bear that's angry. So
yeah. So you're just a grizzly bear.
You're just a grizzly. You're a bear. You're better at being a bear. Initially, I've only ever played 2.
With Barbarians, it's very much the case of we're all kind of used to seeing Bear Totem, Unga Bunga. But like, the first Barbarian I played was, I want to say Storm Barbarian?
Oh,
Herald of the Storm, yeah.
That's really, really good subclass.
And it was fucking sick, because that was the one that I'd crossed over with Artificer.
Yeah.
So for that alone, because that was my first ever big character that I played all the way to level 18, I'd have to put an S.
Fair enough. I mean, I'd give it B.
I'd give it A.
A. We got A. There we go.
Friendship moment.
Yep, there we go. S.
Really?
S. Absolutely. That's gonna be. This is my controversial S. I love Bard.
Hey, Jimmy. hey, yo, what the fuck?
Okay, so there's a few.
In fact, you know what? I've never played a Bard. Walk me through it.
Okay, so the best story I've got of there's 2 stories of great Bard moments. One of them was me, not to blow smoke up my own ass, but it was funny. And then
It's all right, man. This is your channel too.
Fair enough. I'll tell mine first. So, very small party. It was only 3 players. It was a fighter, Eldritch Knight, a fighter champion. We didn't have a lot of them, man. This was my first ever D&D group, and then I was a bard. We got ourselves trapped in a magical prison by a load of cultists, and the cultist that was keeping us there was a attractive woman, according to the DM at the time. So obviously, I'm a bard. I go up to her, I like lean over, and I'm like, "Hey, babe, are you a necromancer? Because you're raising more than just the dead right now." And she let us out. She just let us walk out. She was like, "You know what? You're fit. I'm gonna let you out." It was the most bullshit bard moment. The second most bullshit bard moment I've ever seen, there's a spell called Phantasmal Force, which it's a bit like Major Illusion, but very in a monster's own head.
Right.
So how it works is basically you cast Phantasmal Force, they either save or suck, and fucking you plan where they are in their head. Like, it's like Major Illusion in that way, but it's just personalised. We were against an army of orcs in a mountainside.
Right.
And the bard at the time, he challenged the chieftain to one-on-one combat. He decided to cast Phantasmal Force to make it seem like he was the orc chieftain's mother. And just kept on saying shit like, I can't remember what the orc's name was, we'll call him Richard. It was like, "Richard, you and your friends have to stop playing now, it's dinner time." And this all after a series of absolute fucking bullshit, of complete and utter bullshit rolls, of just like him failing that one, and the orc chieftain failing to see through it all, the bard rolling really high to keep tricking him. He was just like, "Alright, Mum, I'll stop playing with my mates now." He just wanders off. And and that is why Bard is S.
You know what, fuck it. That alone is peak fiction. I fucking love it. Like, that's fucking intense, man. Clerics.
What are you thinking?
So, this is the opposite of the type of Bible basher I play, because I am a paladin and artificer player through and through.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, for me, it's like, oh yeah, these guys seem cool, but like, because I don't really play support casters and stuff, it's not really for me. Mm-hmm. But I guess I could argue that with most of the classes, because I've only really, I think I've played out of the entire class catalogue about 6 classes.
I think, I was gonna say cleric is one that I've just recently started trying my hand at with the Twilight Domain. I like how much option they've got. They've got like 11 subclasses off the top of my head. I'll check.
Cool.
But cool. Off the top of my head, they've got loads. There's like Off the top of my head, most interesting ones in my opinion, definitely War, Death, and Trickery.
That's interesting.
Trickery. You could get like a really cool, like Loki type character going if you're into that sort of thing. Okay. But at the same time, I don't like that it hoards subclasses. I feel if it
has that many subclasses, surely there's something wrong with the base class.
Yeah, it's not so much there's something wrong with the base class. It's just more like I feel like Trickster could have gone to Rogue. But then it's nice that Cleric got the option, or Rogue even Ranger. It has Arcane Trickster anyway, so it's a bit weird.
It's like, do you want to be like the dexterous, nimble Loki, or do you want to be some guy that chucks illusions at someone's forehead, then bonks them?
There's that.
I mean, like, I get it for flavour.
Yeah.
Like, clerics, in theory, are pretty cool. They're just not my type of Bible bash guy.
Yeah, they're not my thing either, really.
I rate it, though. I'd give it like a B.
B, we agree on that, definitely.
Right, Druid. So, from what we said to you guys in the last video about our issues with our Wildfire Druid. Right. Druids are cool.
Yeah, they are cool.
Until you get players like that. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Sam. Yeah, I'm fucking talking to you.
Completely subverted Death House. Just like, oh, he has a soul.
Sorted. Anyway, who wants breakfast?
I like Druid. A lot of people enjoy being able to wild shape into animals. It's cool that the subclasses give wild shape more functionality as well.
I mean, being the people we are as well, it's like I get to be a wolf.
But I'd never play it.
Me either.
I'd never play it.
It's like, it's one of those things where out loud it seems like it's a pretty simple class, and then you read it on paper and go, holy shit, that's so much to remember.
Yeah.
And it's like, hats off to Druid players, because I do not have the mental capacity for it.
You're turning up to tables with literal character binders.
Why do y'all motherfuckers have spreadsheets on how to fight?
Honestly, it's commendable, but it's not for me. See.
Yeah.
See.
So, fighter, I want to start off quickly by saying, if I see one more human variant fighter in my entire life, I'm going to hit the roof. Do better.
Yeah, do better. Do better. You've got so much option. Do better than that.
You could be anything, and you're basically just choosing to be fucking Barry. Come on.
Human variant is completely banned from my games.
Human variant
I don't let people play it because it's boring. It's like,
I start with a feat. Oh, I'm better than you. Look at me with Sentinel at level 1. Look at how fucking cool. Like, fuck off. Fuck you. If you do this shit, fuck you specifically. You suck.
Yeah, honestly, human variant is the most annoying.
Personal opinion, power gaming ruins D&D.
It does. It fully does. Going back to fighter, I'd put Eldritch Knight in S. I would put Champion in D.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Eldritch Knight is one of the most fun classes to play.
Controversial take, by the way. Mm-hmm. Swashbuckler should be a fighter class.
I fully agree with... Yeah, I think it could be interchangeable.
It's like, because swashbucklers are made to be like dexterous, like hand-to-hand fighters.
Yeah.
So why the fuck do they get one attack a turn?
It doesn't make too much sense that they get one attack a turn. I feel like swashbucklers going for that like Zorro, cutlass combat kind of style, isn't it?
Bro, I'm here to be like fucking like the next Davy Jones. I'm not here to be like.
Yeah. It's a little bit weird that it's not thinking about it. Fighter, honestly, I think it might be my only D.
Really?
I think it might be my only D.
I started with the Dragonborn Eldritch Knight, so for me it's like a little bit nostalgic.
I got nostalgic with Fighter recently, however, because I did a campaign where I went from start to finish, level 1, level 20 with Eldritch Knight. It was incredible, it was so fucking fun.
Gorgeous.
But I just think it's uncreative. It's great that, in fact, you know what? I'll put it up to C. Because of how easy it is for a new player to play.
So again, it's like champion fighters are the issue there. It's like the subclasses that add flavour are just different versions of the guys down here, which is what sucks.
Honestly, it's a little bit
the only
weird.
way to change vanilla is to make it a new flavour, and that's the sad part.
Exactly.
Monk, I have very controversial opinions on Monk.
Before we get into the controversial opinion, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Shout out to Monk players. Y'all are always awesome. Y'all are always great.
Really?
I have never had... as soon as someone sits down at my table and they're like, oh, I want to play a monk, I'm like, I am going to love you.
I have had the exact opposite problem.
Really? Oh, man.
So, okay, so I've only been playing for a few years, but like in the 4 years I've been playing, I've DM'd a good few times, and The 2 monk players I have either played with or DM'd for are the worst people ever.
That's so surprising to me.
So, one guy... So, there's 2 scenarios where 2 different people I know built Yamcha.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
So, a friend of mine built a character called Slipknot, who was just page for page, word for word, Yamcha without the name Yamcha. But for some weird reason, my buddy had even worse main character syndrome. And it wasn't a good look. Because it was just like, every time any one of us did something, he'd be like, oh no, I do it first. And it was just like, okay, well, none of us are having fun now. Thank you and your massive quivering palm technique. Fuck you. But like, the second monk, so this friend of mine was new to D&D and it wasn't really, like, he didn't do anything wrong. But when I tell you he described Yamcha in every way, including the chin scarf, like perfectly.
Oh my god, really?
And I was just there like, what's his character's name? And he was like, Toshin. And I was like, this motherfucker built Yamcha. And he's there like, the best part of it was, my friend was genuinely there like, who's Yamcha?
I don't know what I would ever do if I accidentally built Yamcha.
A friend of mine, word for word, basically, had built Yamcha from Dragon Ball without ever even seeing an episode of Dragon Ball.
It's impressive, more than anything.
I'm so confused. Like, how do you, like a modern young adult, have not seen a single thing about Dragon Ball?
It's very surprising, actually.
It's like, how do you stay away from that on the internet? Dragon Ball's fucking everywhere.
It's almost unavoidable. It's crazy.
Yeah. So my point is, Dragon Ball's D. Monk, sorry, is D.
You're putting Monk in D?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd put it in A. Shall we? High C, low B.
I will give you the middle of C.
Give middle C. Middle C. Oh god, that as a musician, I hate hearing
It's
that
not better
phrase.
than Druid, but it's better than Fighter, I'll give you that.
No opinion.
Right, Paladin. Paladin for me is an immediate S. It is my bread and butter. I eat that shit all the time.
If I put Bard in S, you can put Paladin in S.
So, one of the first characters I ever bonded with playing was the Changeling Paladin in a recent game that James and I played together. He died.
Yeah.
And it broke me because this character was really, really interesting. His second personality, who was like a locksmith, was really, really good. He was a police officer that didn't actually pass the academy, so he was using fake credentials to try and help people because he didn't believe in the police force.
Yeah.
And everyone believed it. It was great.
It was even my character believed it.
To be fair, I didn't even tell the other players that he wasn't actually a cop.
Yeah. Yeah,
because it was
really good.
It was one of those things where I was hoping in downtime it would be RP'd, that they'd find the credentials and realise they were fake.
Ranger.
It's just kind of like... It's the weird middle ground between Fighter and Rogue. It's doing its best.
Honest, I have seen Rangers... Okay, I've got another... This was from a campaign that my friend did, Mage Punk. It was really good. The premise was like fantasy world... Some cyberpunk elements. We got like how it worked was we lived in like a giant tower. The party had like grew up together. We were all the same age, roughly about 16, that kind of age. And basically, we got sent on a mission to somewhere within the Empire, which was a faction within this world. And they were under attack from an orc army. A lot of orc armies today. Anyway, they had wyverns because of orcs in this universe. Their whole thing is they're not like savage beasts. They kind of are, but like they're also wyvern riders. So like we were in this battle and we had 2 wyverns going for us specifically because we were with the garrison commander, Satarian. So they were going after him. Our ranger clocked him and killed it in 2 turns before it had chance.
Fucked.
Well, this was after the bard cast command, and you get a 1 word for command, and it told the wyverns, fuck. So they lost their orc riders because they started mating for 6 seconds, and then immediately went, hang on, we're in a fight, and stopped, and then started riding towards us. But that was a free attack, and then by the time they'd realised, another arrow.
Like, I think my issue with Rangers is the preferred foe idea, because you get 1, and unfortunately, I feel in a lot of campaigns it will just hinder you unless you know what the main villains are, but like most DMs don't reveal that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's really, really hard to work around with those sort of things unless the DM's willing to give you guys more information.
Yeah.
I think a Ranger is only limited by how well the DM is ready to prep and explain things.
There's also the preferred terrain as well, which I don't think I've ever seen come up.
Same.
Because of even if a ranger ends up in their preferred terrain, they almost always forget.
Because it's just a class feature that...
It doesn't matter, really.
It's such a nothing class feature.
Exploration's quite streamlined in most adventures. I think no one wants to spend 5 sessions walking to where the plot is, really. So I feel as though it's cool to have that. It's like, oh, actually, I'm really, really good in deserts or jungles.
Which is great in the scenarios where you're in like something like a chase scene.
Yeah.
But again, this is one of those... This is very much one of those classes where it's like, consult your DM.
Yeah.
Because... Like, a great DM can make it work amazingly, but some good DMs and great DMs still can't make it work because there's just certain things that, like, let's be honest, none of us have actually read the DM guide. Half of us don't care about most of it.
Yeah,
as a personal forever DM, like, I've never read it, I've never had to.
It's good for rules and learning how the game works.
But
is
so
a core
thing,
but
like, there's so many things that players immediately go, well, that's fucking boring.
Yeah, it's more like guidelines than anything. I always think it's better to know the rules so you can break them better.
I couldn't agree more, because it's like, personally, the gold standard between 3 different types of coins can be really confusing, so a lot of people just use gold, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things that all of us as DMs and players break all the time, because we can't be expected to know the entire thing front to back and then be like, well, in my downtime I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this because it's for RP reasons, because it's soul-sucking.
Actually, you know what? After this conversation about Rangers, I spoke quite highly of Rangers. I think their damage output is really, really good. That's it. I think I'd put it in D.
I'm glad you agree.
I think I'd put Ranger in D after those were some good points. Oh.
Okay, so let's start off as a player. Playing a rogue is fucking sick.
It's fucking awesome.
It's the coolest thing ever. Good. But as a DM,
it's so hard to balance encounters around a rogue. It's so difficult.
I'm sorry. What am I meant to do while like one of my players just goes, yeah, I'm gonna hide behind the corner.
So this
you rolled, fair enough.
Yeah, that's fine. The amount of
it's like, I'm not mad at the players, I'm mad at the system for the game.
I'm mad at the system because it's so tailored to a player getting away with absolute bullshit.
Because the issue alongside of it is it's like rogues are good at stabbing.
Yeah.
Unless you're a swashbuckler.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're good at stabbing without hiding.
Yes.
Now, the issue with that is it's very limiting, and let's be serious, like, it can, like, I think people that enjoy playing rogues, it, like, for them, if they're good at RPing it, it's fine. Yeah. It's like, obviously, your fiancé is amazing when it comes to playing this sort of thing.
Actual rogue main.
Like,
yeah, they do it well.
To be fair to them, they're, like, really interesting how they do it, because they actually, like, check for, like, where they can hide and the things they can do.
Yeah.
Instead of just going, I hide.
Yeah. And it's like, you know...
I mean, like, the closest thing that you could possibly hide behind is you can hide a finger behind that pebble on the floor. But
yeah, I was going to say, there's nothing... I have a few issues with Rogue, and I'll start with the biggest ones. One, these tend to be my problem players.
Yeah.
Rogues tend to always be... I won't mention this guy by name, because me and him, quite frankly, he was such a bad player... Me and him don't get on at all anymore. He would actively steal from the party. He would actively kill party members or attack them, or if he was allowed to get their stuff. He was genuinely one of those players. I don't know if anyone else who's watching has ever had this kind of player, but do you ever feel like you get that player where you're like, oh, fuck you, go play Skyrim? Yeah, because they're that bad at cooperating in a RP co-op setting that you're like... You might as well be the villain.
Yeah, it's like, there's nothing I hate more than unplanned PvP. It's like...
Yeah, I hate it.
There are times where I like to do small initiatives between, like, one-on-one PvP things that have no stakes, just so the players can show off how their characters work a bit more.
Like sparring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's
I think
absolutely
stuff like
fine.
that is really fun. I think it's really, really creative and can be some really fun bits of RP and really good ways for characters to connect.
Absolutely, yeah.
I actually make a big thing out of fighting tournaments in a lot of my campaigns because I really enjoy watching my players fight against each other in a setting where it isn't just, I'm going to kill you because I don't like your face.
I love tournament arcs.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
tournament arcs.
It's really fucking fun.
They're great.
Because each character and player gets to show off a different way they play it, and that's what makes D&D fun. It's a co-op game. Like, it's the players and the DM together.
Another thing as well.
The rogues go, oh yeah, everyone's against me, I'm going to go to the fighting pits, I'm going to rob that guy, I'm going to rob their shit, I'm just going to...
Yeah, It's not what a rogue's supposed to really be. I mean, you can play however you want, but at the same time, keep it the fuck away from my table.
Respectfully, don't be a cunt.
Yeah. The other issue I've got with rogue is assassin is an oppressively good subclass.
It's so incredibly good, it makes the others look shit.
Yeah, this is what every other rogue subclass is actually quite good, but assassin is what I mean by oppressively good is like you could have the most amazing swashbuckler build in the world.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because if someone's picked assassin with the alert feat and they're better than you, undisputably better than you.
It's like I love swashbucklers. I'm a massive pirate nerd.
Yeah.
And there's just no reason for me to play it because any other rogue, like unfortunately, Arcane Tricksters and Assassins are the top two, and that's because they're fucking broken.
Yeah, they are pretty busted.
And that's fine. Every class has a subclass that's like inherently or objectively the best.
Yeah.
But it's like, when the gap is that fucking wide, there's no point even trying to bridge it.
These are also the players that very, very seldom learn how their class works.
Yeah.
I understand. Rogue is appealing to new players. I get that. Everyone who's only been playing video games before, a cool build's always Archer, Stealth Daggers. Everyone likes that shit. Everyone thinks that's fun. But when you come into a tabletop space, you need to, like, if you're new, it's fine. It's going to take time. Hopefully you've got a table that's patient with you. I always try and be as patient as I can with new players. But if we're in session 20 and you're still asking me how your sneak attack works, I'm just going to send you a link to a YouTube video at this point.
Same.
Because these tend to be the players that, like, don't listen to me anyway. Like, as the DM, they're always, like, you know, never paying attention to the plot, not bothered about what other players are doing, very rarely get involved in RP because they're too busy being edgy, not being involved in conversations, won't make friends with the rest of the party. These are my problem players. I always get nervous when someone who's new says, I want to play Rogue. It's very good. It's very good to play, though. I'll give it B.
You know what? I'll meet you in the middle of B. I like that.
Yeah, because it's undisputably one of the best DPS classes. However, the last 5 minutes of conversation.
Yeah. So I once had a problem player that was mostly a rogue main, and to try and up the amount of bullshit he could do, he decided he was going to take 11 in every class.
Oh, you off? He absurded you.
Without even, like, the absurd video didn't even exist yet.
Oh my god.
Okay, so this guy, like, bear in mind, he was, like, older than you, and this guy was just a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So he goes, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to use this action, and then this action, and this action. I'm like, you don't get a fucking action per class.
No, you really don't.
And that was the moment he realised his character fucking sucked. It was great.
A rogue player being explained, they always do shit like this. Because if they don't understand, I'm done. I'm not ranting about rogues anymore.
Action economy is an action and a bonus action.
Yeah, that is per character on the board, not per class you have picked. Otherwise, everyone would multi-class.
Okay, so big favourite of mine, Sorcerer.
I've only ever played one. It was fucking awesome.
Sorcerers are fucking sick. When it comes to Sorcerers, I play Sea Sorcerers because I went solo to CR10 Dragon on my own with it.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to tell that.
So I was like, I think my group and I were about level 8 or level 9. I can't quite remember. It was meant to be a one shot that turned into a short campaign. So my character had a bit of a confusion about why he was a sorcerer because he was just a sailor, and then his ship died, and then his crew died at sea, and he was the only one that survived because he woke up 3 days later at the bottom of the ocean, wondering why he could breathe.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
So like, he ended up like him in this group that, like, again, ragtag group. You know what D&D is like.
Yeah.
So it was me, an orc called Crunkdunk. Crunkdunk was great. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This entire group was sick. And what was it? Like, not an ogre. Fuck, I can't even explain. It was like almost a seaweed creature. It was kind of like Swamp Thing, but he was a monk and his name was Spleck.
Spleck.
And the only way to explain him is Shrek but stoned.
Oh, sound.
And it was fucking sick. So we had like we'd been given this task to just like kill off a local monster that was causing issues with like the water supplies and stuff. We did it. Crunkdunk cut off the head to take back as proof to be like, yeah, reward, give
gold. Yeah.
So like Spleck had passed out and gone to sleep. This like, I think it was it was started to be a monster from Monster Hunter. I'll have to ask my friend later about it.
Oh, okay.
But it was like this creature that isn't ever actually meant to touch the floor that was like flying and shit. So it had basically approached me because it wanted to eat the thing, and I was like, yeah, just don't eat me. And then he was like, oogity boogity, I could tell you about your past if you beat me. And I was just there like, alright, bet. So it started with me just slinging a couple of cantrips, trying to figure out what the issues were. Yeah, I was definitely level 10 and I was definitely on my own because I remember specifically looking at all 10 of my sorcery points like, heh, quicken spell, bitches. For those of you that don't know, sorcery points are fucking amazing. Transmute spell and quicken spell are fucking nuts.
Yeah, they are. They are.
So quicken spell turns any action spell into a bonus action, which means you can just chuck 2 spells at bitches, which is...
Yeah, it's mad.
It feels great.
Yeah.
So, they also have a feat, specifically for sea sorcerers, where if they're attacked... I think it's specifically in melee. They take on a watery state and can move up to 20 feet. This also halves the damage.
Mm-hmm.
So, my DM at the time, Reese, shout out my buddy Reese, he went, it bites you. And I went, okay, I'm going to use my reaction to this. And I was like, it bit me, yeah? I'm going to take up a watery space. Sorry, I'm going to take up a watery... Fuck, what's the word? Watery form. I'm going to move into its throat. And Reese just went, what? I was like, I'm going to move into its throat. Because it's like an instantaneous thing and then you go back to normal. So I'm choking this thing out, basically stuck Superman style inside this fucking dragon. So it's having to use its actions to try and get me out.
Right.
Because my thought was, I don't know what this thing's breath weapon is. And to be quite honest, I don't want to fucking find out.
No.
So I just start chucking spells down its gullet. At one point, I casted Storm Sphere inside its stomach.
You gave it a poorly tummy.
I fucking killed this bitch, dude. So while this was happening, I nearly died as well because it finally managed to spit me out.
Mm-hmm.
I was on about 10 HP, which is obviously not a lot. So, to explain where the rest of my party were during this combat, Crunkadunk had skipped town because he thought the mission was done. Splek was still asleep, and I had to wake him up 4 times to convince him he wasn't dreaming.
That sounds incredible.
So, towards the end of the fight, like I'm like halfway down, like my character's bloody. He's like got like 5 HP left, and he's clinging to life, still chucking fucking shit at this guy. Like, you won't win. We had like the most epic moment ever because like I saw like my buddy Ross pass Reese a note, and then Reese explains as a spear hits it in the jaw, and I was like, Crunk Dunk, he came back. And then Crunk Dunk did nothing else for the session as I killed it.
Oh, lovely.
Sorcerer's Rest just because of that.
I like Wild Magic Sorcerer a lot. I'll give it S.
Fuck yeah, dog. Right, Warlock. I don't really have much experience with Warlocks. Obviously, I have a homebrew subclass that I let you use because I thought it was really cool.
I'm gonna, the Pact of the Trigger. I'm looking forward to experimenting with that.
The Pact of the Trigger is a really cool thing I found. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I didn't make it. I'm not even gonna I am not that fucking interesting. But it basically like a patron and a class for it are really cool because it basically turns you into Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And the amount of fun I had with having an NPC that was that character was...
Yeah. They are... I'm having a lot of fun. I'm DMing Curse of Strahd at the minute. I mentioned in the other video. But one of the players is a Warlock again. Shout out Sam. And we've basically arranged it so that he's a Feywild Warlock.
Ooh.
So his patron is Oberon. However...
That's sick.
Because it's my world, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I like. And Sam came to me with this idea like, I want to be on a TV show is how I want this to work. I want it so that Oberon's made me sign a contract and I want him to be like a sleazy TV exec. So that's exactly what we've done. And it's great. Every now and again, Oberon just goes into his little earpiece and says like, hey buddy, I need you to do some bullshit, ratings are down, like, and you know what happens when the ratings go down too much, don't you? Alright, bet, talk to you later. So we'll just be doing that, and it's really, really fun. I think what Warlocks genuinely for the RP stuff, like, standalone, I put them in at least A.
I think the RP behind Warlocks is what makes them so interesting to me.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think that they're the weakest spellcaster in my opinion, but they're one of the coolest. Especially if you're a Hexblade Warlock. You can't go wrong with just...
I'm sorry, like, Warlock beats Barbarian.
I'm with you on that. I'll give you that. Mid.
Wizard.
Mid.
Incredibly mid.
Mid. C.
Imagine studying your entire life just to get beaten by some random kid that found out he could just Eldritch Blast like that.
Never played one. Never known anyone who played one. A few NPCs have been wizards. I wouldn't go that far. Okay. I'd put it above Rogue, to be honest, is where I'm thinking. I've only ever had like one NPC wizard, and wizards have the most potential to be funny, I think, because of, like you've already said, study for your entire life, get killed by a goblin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not my fault you're trash.
Not that it's funny that when players die, but that's pretty funny. Come on, like if you just die to a goblin.
It's just like, personal opinion, wizards are just kind of sucky.
They're not great.
Every other caster has more interesting things about them. It's like sorcerers make wizards look like bitches on a regular basis, and that's just facts.
Yeah, I don't know. Wizards definitely get access to some of the most ridiculous spells. However, I'm going to say this to every wizard player out there right now. Read what Wish actually does. Do it.
Please.
Read.
For the love of fuck,
Read
please.
what Wish does. It doesn't do what you think it does. That's all I have to say to you. B.
Mid. Right. The holy fucking grail of artificers. Right, okay. This class is both either the most nothing bullshit cunty class, or it is the most fun you will ever have. And that all depends on how you want to play. If you want to play a mad scientist, fair enough, pick artillerist. Don't be like, I want to make a nuke. Every GM hates you. So, I am an artificer main. Specifically, I'm a battlesmith main because it gives me a little dog friend. Now, there's one thing that beats a ranger with a little pet. It's a fucking guy with a mechanical pet that's going to bite your fucking arm off.
Yeah, they are really cool.
Exactly. Nothing is cooler than a battlesmith walking in, getting 2 attacks in action, smiting you, and then his dog fucking getting you.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's really fun to RP, it's really fun to play because of how Battlesmith is as well. I know I'm basically just defending the class through like their specific one, but let's be honest, no one wants to play fucking Alchemist.
No.
No one wants to sit there and be like, I'm going to make a potion. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, it's compared to the other two, I like Artillerist and Battlesmith.
So Artillerists are really fucking interesting because you can do some really cool range stuff. It's not for me personally because I'm very much an in the middle tank kind of character. And because of that, like, Battlesmith is perfect. Because you can infuse your own shit, you can make your shit really fucking hench, and then you can just start dogging on bitches, and that's so fun.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very, very good.
So, personally for me, Artificer is an S, but I will happily hear you out and meet you in the middle.
No issues. The entire source book that came out with Artificer was fucking brilliant. Shout out to Tasha's Cauldron. Brilliant book.
Specifically, by the way, Eberron's Guide, Artificer.
Oh, Eberron's Guide. Okay, yeah.
That's where Battlesmith comes from, and Battlesmith is the best subclass.
Also, I will make a separate video about this, but I know how to make Torbjorn from Overwatch in 5e, and it's completely Adventurers League legal.
We are going to have so much fun with this
show. Yeah, I'll show it in a bit.
Okay. So there is one more class that is on here, and to those of you that don't really know the book that well, you may not notice it, but it's missing Bloodhunter, so of course, we've got to talk about it.
Woo! I fucking love Bloodhunter. I am unapologetically edgy. Rogue doesn't quite edge it up enough for me.
So of course he's got to be an evil-looking paladin.
Genuinely, I played a Bloodhunter for a homebrew campaign. That once again, shout out to Sam.
Same campaign where I was playing a changeling paladin.
Yeah, I made my Bloodhunter Vardin, and he was genuinely one of my favourite all-time characters that I've ever made.
I spent a month convincing James, hey, play Bloodhunter, you'll fucking love it.
And I did.
And the entire time he was like, oh no, I'm not sure, man, I've not really fucked around with anything like that. And I was like, dude, trust me.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that from session 1, the bond that Varden and my character had was elite.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really fun. The RP during that whole campaign was great.
So amazing.
But
Honestly, I'd put it in high A. It's just so
high
fun
A,
to
absolutely.
watch.
Blood Hunter for me goes somewhere. Just maybe
I
in
actually
between
think it
these
beats
two.
Warlock, to be honest.
You think it beats Warlock? I'll take it beating Warlock. To be honest, I'm happy with that.
I think it's way too sick because it's
Yeah,
like
real good.
It's like if Warlocks were more melee.
That's it. Yeah, if Warlocks are more melee.
Obviously, there's one more, which is Mystic. But I'm going to be honest, who the fuck plays Mystic?
I didn't even know it existed until you said. Yeah, I have no idea what. I'll do some research. I'll find out what's going on with it.
I'll show you about it later.
Yeah, it's all good. I was gonna say I've never even heard of this fucker. When did he come out?
Fuck knows.
I don't know.
Yeah. So that's the tier list.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we got for you. Yeah.
So that's all we have time for today. Please let us know how you feel about our hot takes in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Troy's Tabletop. My name's Troy. This is James.
Hello.
Have a great day.